Once upon a time, there lived a girl who was born great. Even as a child, she knew she was a great character operating in a mediocre world. Jacquie Phelan, cycling great. Or just plain great. I rode my bike everywhere in 70s suburbia and began racing bicycles at 25, which is considered an advanced age in the athletic world. But since I suffer from a tragic allergy to responsibility known as Peter Pan-itis, I wasn't going to grow up anyhow. So in 1981, the Olympics decided to allow women's road racing, but there were no women as strong as me in Marin County. I rode with the guys, but the local roadie men hated me for being so strong and undroppable. They even went to pains to exclude me by saying their rides were invitation only. In road racing, even the women riders begged me to consider changing sports. So I got into mountain bike racing, where the attitude was, the more the merrier. I won all the races I entered. I was national champion for 3 years, and I'd found my tribe, which was great, but there were precious few women. That needed to change.
Jacquie was something of a legend. I wrote for City Sports magazine, which covered the sport, and there was stories in City Sports about her.
I didn't have competition, but in those days we all raced together, so I was competing quite strenuously with certain guys that really didn't want me to beat them that race. So it was great. I had a lot of unfair advantages. I was riding a bike that was 20 years ahead of its time. It's sort of like my lover. I definitely have slept with it when I'm camping, and it's actually a manifestation of Charlie's handiwork, my husband, who made this beautiful machine just for me.
Jacquie is a package. You know, she's a one of a kind. And she's really, really good at riding bikes and can kick anyone's butt, even half their age.
Almost every mountain biker I run into, especially women mountain bikers, they seem to know Jacquie or took a class from her once, or really developed their enjoyment of mountain biking through her.
She brought the sport into a place where women could actually access it.
So Wombats was this funny name that I made up, Women's Mountain Bike MT Society. If you put a bunch of women together and they go out and have a good time on a bike, it's going to be fun and social, because that's what women really like. It's not rigorous, testosterone-rich. I think it's almost a myth that it's a men's sport. I just disagree with their essential belief that it's dangerous, it's not easy, and you have to look a certain way, and you have to dress a certain way, and you have to buy new equipment all the time. That's baloney. Nowadays, it's kind of a challenge, you know, 53-year-old woman trying to convince people that she's so great. But nobody's allowed to say I've retired, because I am not retired. I am, in my own head, a superhero, an action hero for women. Is the world ready for a 53-year-old supermodel? I think so.
She thinks outside the box. She likes the idea of dessert first.
I'm a two-wheeled person in a four-wheel world. You know, on a bike, things are very peaceful. Every hour on the bike is 1 hour spent in perfect balance. That's a very small revolution right there. And that's something I share with everybody that rides. They can tell I love being on my bike. All these things that make this a totally practical personal transportation vehicle, as well as, in my opinion, personal transformation. It turned me from a young, angry young woman to a fairly grounded, pretty content old bat. It is the one thing between me and madness.